Okay, as I said, we're going to go through some ab exercises. We're going to start you off in a very basic, simple little ab crunch. It's a great little exercise to get yourself into if you're not up to a full sit-up yet. So we're going to go through the technique for that. You want to set yourselves up with the feet just nice and relaxed on the floor. You're looking for that 90-degree bend in the knee. So we're just bringing the feet in just a little bit, nice and close. And he's got his lower back nice and flat on the mat. Just lie down for me. So his fingertips come onto the sides of your head and you keep those elbows out as wide as you can, okay? So you're gonna squeeze up, just lifting through the shoulder blades, coming up and then back down. So you're just working that small little area right at the bottom of the sit-up, and all he's looking to do is clean the shoulder blades off the mat. He's not coming up any higher. And what he's also not doing, you'll notice he keeps his elbows out really wide. Just do one where you kind of throw your elbows in. So he's not cheating by building momentum through his elbows. He's keeping them out parallel to the floor. So see the difference there between the two little elbow techniques. Also, don't want to be gripping behind the head, pulling through the neck. So none of that. So you're not putting any strain on the lower back. So it's just little fingertips on the temple, up and down. You'll really start to feel that build in that upper ab section. All good there, Az?
Yep.
Okay, rest in there. So now we're going to change the focus on the abs and go down to the sort of lower, what we call the lower abs, so closer to the hips. Az is going to set himself up with his hands this time just tucked under the bum, not sitting totally on his hands, but just under there. You can make a little shape with the thumbs together, and then just set yourself up with your bum just sitting in between that U. He's going to bring his head off the floor just to engage through the abs, and then all he's going to do is maintain this angle in the legs and look to lift the hips off the mat, coming back down just till the heels just touch the grass, coming back up. So he's keeping his head off just to keep focused. He can look down sort of towards his crotch or his toes. And we're really looking just to get those hips just 2 inches off the mat, up, slowly down with control, down for the heels touch, and up. And you see how he maintains the angle in the legs the whole time? He's not flicking his legs up nice and straight. We've got that perfect little 90-degree bend in the knees. Awesome. So we're right in here. He's really focusing on this lower strip of abs, and he's just resting down. So pull up, and you'll feel that really start to build in this lower section. So the crunch gets the top half, this reverse ab just down into the lower half of the abs. Nice one. Okay, so we're going to go through a full leg extension, really working through the abs. And it's all about that eccentric phase of straightening the legs with control and then bringing them back up. So Az is going to bring his knees in, lift his hips, slowly come out to a straight kick with his legs. And what he also wants to be doing is kicking away with the heel. So if he flexes his toes back to his shins, he's engaging his quads, keeping everything switched on. He's also got his head lifted and he's looking at his toes, and then he draws it back in. So he keeps his head in position, everything's stable from the hips up, and his legs come out nice and straight, kicks away with the heels, draws in. So this one's all about slow and control. He wants to be coming out as slow as he can, touching, and then pulling back in. Okay, awesome. So he's keeping that control there. He wants to be focused on his lower back as well. So as he places his lower back down, it stays pushed down into the mat the whole way through the phase of extending the legs. And it only comes off as he draws his knees in and he gives a little lift just to get that extra curl through the abs. Straight lower back into the mat and up. Good, remember to keep those toes flexed towards your face. That's it. Awesome, getting right in there. Okay, so we're going to get into a full crunch extend. So this is really the pièce de résistance of the ab exercises. I only really want to be going into this once you've progressed through the others. And again, we've got to be focused on that pace, so keeping it nice and slow and controlled. So Az is going to bring himself up into like a full tuck position, lower back into the mat. He brings his knees in nice and close to his chest, and fingertips just on the toes if you can get them there, otherwise around the sides, around the arches or into your heels. But you're basically using your hands to create a bit of a tension. So he's sort of bracing there, almost kicking away with his legs to pull his back off the mat. And then he's going to come from here to a full straight body. So his hands come away, his legs straighten all the way, his toes are flexed back towards his shin, his hands are over his head. And again, he's focusing here now on keeping his lower back into the mat, and then he returns back to that crunch as he exhales, opens, control, exhale, and he comes back, fingertips back to the same position each time. So here you can vary the length of your legs as well. So if you're finding that starts to pull on your lower back, you can just come into a little half extension, bringing them back up. So that's just changing the length of the lever in this lower half. So the shorter that lever, the less pressure on your lower back. So, you know, that can be something you can progress up to, is that full stretch. And we make him do as many as we can. That's it. And that's the sort of tempo you want to be looking for in this exercise. Maybe you could take it up maybe a little bit more if Az is really wanting to do some work. But he's maintaining his form, that's the key. Az can take his tempo up and keep his form. If you find that you're, well, here he goes. If you find that you're taking your tempo up and your form starts to fray, then you've got to slow it right back down and just get back into that control again, and we'll let him rest. Cheers, Az.